जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। जय यमुना तीरवनचारी। यमुना तीरवनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 26 and 27. 26. इयं च भूमिर्भगवता nyāsitoru-bharā satī। śrīmadbhis tat-pada-nyāsaiḥ। sarvataḥ kṛta-kautukā। iyaṁ ca bhūmiर्भगवता nyāsitoru-bharā satī। śrīmadbhis tat-pada-nyāsaiḥ। sarvataḥ kṛta-kautukā। iyaṁ ca bhūmiर्भगवता nyāsitoru-bharā satī। śrīmadbhis tat-pada-nyāsaiḥ। sarvataḥ kṛta-kautukā। इयं च भूमिर्भगवता न्यासितोरु-भरा tat-pada-nyāsaiḥ sarvataḥ kṛta-kautukā इयं च भूमिर्भगवता nyāsitoru-bharā satī śrīmadbhis tat-pada-nyāsaiḥ sarvataḥ kṛta-kautukā इयं च भूमिर्भगवता nyāsitoru-bharā satī śrīmadbhis tat-pada-nyāsaiḥ sarvataḥ kṛta-kautukā इयं च भूमिर्भगवता nyāsitoru-bharā satī śrīmadbhis tat-pada-nyāsaiḥ sarvataḥ kṛta-kautukā इयं च भूमिर्भगवता nyāsitoru-bharā satī śrīmadbhis tat-pada-nyāsaiḥ sarvataḥ kṛta-kautukā. Word to word meaning. Iyam, this, cha, and. Bhūmi, surface of the earth. Bhagavata, by the personality of Godhead. Nyāsita, being performed personally as well as by others. Uru, great. Bhara, burden. Satī, being so done. Śrīmadbhiḥ, by the all-auspicious. Tad, that. Pada-nyāsaiḥ, footprints. Sarvataḥ, all around. Kṛta, done. Kautukā, good fortune. Translation. The burden of the earth was certainly diminished by the personality of Godhead and by others as well. When he was present as an incarnation, all good was performed because of his auspicious footprints. So this sloka don't have purport, so we will go for next sloka. Shochatya-shrukala sadvi durbhage vojjita sati abrahmanya-nrupa-vyaja abanya-nrupa-vyaja shudra bhokshanti mamiti. Translation. Now she, the chaste one, being unfortunately forsaken by the personality of Godhead, laments her future with tears in her eyes. For now she is being ruled and enjoyed by lower class men who pose as rulers. Purport. The Kshatriya, or the man who is qualified to protect the sufferer, is meant to rule the state. Untrained lower class man or men without ambition to protect the sufferer cannot be placed on the seat of an administrator. Unfortunately, in the age of Kali, the lower class men without training occupy the post of the ruler by strength of popular votes. And instead of protecting the sufferers, such men create a situation quite intolerable for everyone. Such rulers illegally gratify themselves at the cost of the comfort of the citizen, and thus the chaste Mother Earth cries to see the pitiable condition of her sons, both men and animals. That is the future of the world in the age of Kali, when irreligiosity prevails most prominently. And in the absence of a suitable king to curb irreligious tendencies, educating the people systematically in the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam will clear up the hazy atmosphere of corruption, bribery, blackmail, etc. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातान् सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरतुसे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं। हरे कृष्ण। Welcome everyone for today's Saturday morning class discussion. So today in these two shlokas, Prabhupada in purport also mentions that how today's day and age leaders are being chosen only on the basis of votes, and it is not seen whether he is qualified to have that post or not. Also Prabhupada is emphasizing twice about training, and in translation of the 26th shloka, Sukadeva Goswami is saying that how earth was being burdened by those personalities who will be coming ahead. This is like a transition phase where initially Lord was there, and then Lord's intimate devotees Yudhishthir Maharaj and then Parikshit Maharaj was ruling. And now the transition will be happening that now Kali is going to take the post of this era. And then Kali Yuga will start with his full force. So this is a transition phase. So these two shlokas marks the end of this section. Initially we saw how that Dharma was talking to Parikshit Maharaj and telling that I don't want to explicitly tell who is the perpetrator, who is the cause of my suffering, that the bull personified Dharma was telling. And then Parikshit, this section which ends at 27, where Parikshit is consoling Dharma that how the situation of earth has been happened, and how the fact that you don't want to tell who is the perpetrator, it means you are Dharma. And after this, then Kali will surrender in 2-3 shlokas, means in time frame, and then Parikshit will ask Kali to leave his kingdom. So this shows that how Parikshit was so strict. Parikshit, Yudhishthir Maharaj, they were so loving to their citizens that citizens used to feel them like parents. At the same time, he was so strict for punishing the Kali. And then later Kali will ask for some places to stay in his kingdom. And then Parikshit will give 4 places, which Kali will say that these are not sufficient because there is no place of 4 irregularity principle in your kingdom, and then he will give the place of stored wealth or gold. So we will discuss about what is the burden to Mother Earth, and then we will discuss about training, that how Prabhupada is telling about training aspect, and that too Prabhupada is telling that training should be as per the Bhagavatam. Educating the people systematically in the teachings of Srimad-Bhagavatam will clear up hazy atmosphere of the corruption, bribery and blackmail, etc. like that. So Prabhupada is emphasizing on training. So earth feel burden for those who are not practicing Krishna consciousness, or they are not abiding to the laws of Lord. It is not that just because amount of mass has increased, so earth will feel burden. There are 84 lakh species, and out of those 84 lakh species, some species like human being, they create imbalance and that is why they feel burden. Otherwise all other species, they are not creating burden. Whatever they are done, that is done. That is not burden. So only some species, when they go against the law of the Lord, then it creates burden. So whenever any particular system is being created, then they will have some set of rules, some things to be followed. Even in spiritual terms, when we have some particular way of living, if we don't follow the laws, then we also will be like a burden. One of the training lecture, Radheshyam Prabhu was telling that whenever we will get some devotees, there will be always somebody who will be like a leader. They will follow, they will do some innovative things. Some of them will just follow what is being told. And there will be some for whom you have to have some purification. So living being staying in this material world, though the principle of jivo jivasya jivanam, but if the imbalance is being created, then it not only affect their own progress in life, but it also affect others' progress. And that is why that laws are created, that if somebody is affecting others' progress, that is hinsa. Prabhupada writes in one of the Bhagavad Gita purport that what is hinsa means to check the progress of living entity. When some animal is being killed, that time what is happening? His progress in particular lives or particular species of life is being hampered. Because we are killing the particular animal in his progressive path. Otherwise, he is supposed to take another birth in some higher conscious living being. And that is why when yajna used to be performed, that time the particular animal was given birth in some higher conscious body. And that is not a checking of his progress. And that way it is not a hinsa. So Prabhupada is also telling about the electing people. So if the person is elected just because he wants to become a leader, then he will be like a Shudra. Prabhupada is telling that. So Shudra is one, he wants to have some post, but he don't want to act as per the post. That's what happened many places when people want to have some adhikar, but they don't want to do their duties. So we also have some, once we get some post, it will have some adhikar and some duties or kartavyas, we say. So some duties, what abide to ourselves, that we have to identify that what duty I have. Just like every jiva has duty of being servant of the Lord. Jiver Swarupoy Krishnera Nityadas. And he should aspire for being servant. So though we take the dhoti kṛta and tilak, which boldly claim that I am devotee, I am now will be das. But if we don't want to follow the law abiding to the Lord's being servant, then we are not abiding to our own duties. So devotee aspires to become servant. Kulashekara Alvar, he very nicely says in 25th Mukundmala Sutra that how, very nice shloka is there. Mad janmana phalamidam madhukaita bare mad prarthaniya mad anugraha esha eva tvad bhrutya bhrutya paricharaka bhrutya bhrutya bhrutyasya bhrutya iti mam smara lokanatha. He says that my aspiration is to become servant. Not only servant, I want to become servant of servant of servant. In Chatushloki Bhagavatam, while giving Rudrasura shlokas, Prabhupada writes very nice sentence in the purport that whenever this Rudrasura says that I want to become a servant, then Prabhupada writes, this is the sum and substance of Krishna conscious movement, that we aspire to become servant. And Prabhupada says, you have to become servant of servant of servant. So leader means one who leading by his own example and leading people for what? Leading people for becoming Krishna's devotees. Otherwise he can lead to hell also. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu repeatedly taught devotees that how we have to become servant and we have to become leader servant. So I will just mention about how Prabhupada is telling about Bhagavatam as a basis of teaching, and then we will see the training aspect of the devotee. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, you can open it 1540. While explaining the various teachings to Vyasdev, Narad Muni mentions at the end of 5th chapter, last shloka, that how Bhagavatam can remove the distress of karmis and gyanis also. So this shloka, it tells that how, in the translation it says that, please therefore describe the Almighty Lord's activities which you have learned by your vast knowledge of the Vedas, for that will satisfy the hankering of great learned man and at the same time mitigate the miseries of the masses of common people who are always suffering from material panges. Indeed, there is no other way to get out of such miseries. So, many times it is being seen that, okay, Bhagavatam is shelter for devotees, but it can also do the act of mitigating the suffering of great learned man. Those who are very knowledgeable, for them also Bhagavatam will give solution. And it will mitigate the miseries of the masses of common people. Even in the beginning he said that samsarinam karunaya purana guhyam. Those who are people who are suffering in this material world, they are hankering for enjoyment. For them also Bhagavatam is a solution. Bhagavatam is a solution. Even in the first shloka itself it says that tapatrayan unmoolanam. It will uproot the miseries produced because of 3 tapas. So for that, training from Bhagavatam is a solution Prabhupada is explaining. So see, training is required in every aspect, because nature of this material world is to go down. This material world is governed by the law of gravity. So, like anything we put, even if we put from 21st floor, then it will go down. It will not go in between on 10th floor in somebody's balcony. It will go directly down. Because nature is to go as much down as possible. It is not that some way it will stop. Just like water from Mother Ganga or Sindhu river, they start from the top of the Himalayas. But it goes till whatever down it can go. Once it goes to the ocean level, then it stops its flow. So going down will have more and more option when there is more and more opportunity to go down. And same thing happened with our consciousness also. When there is a group of people staying together, there will always tendency to go down. So that is why we always need a way by which we can again hold our standards. So if we maintain those standards, standard, then things can remain. Otherwise, there will always chance for immorality, sinful activity, egoist sense gratification, or politics. Of course, there are many devotees. They were doing. They were in politics. Ramananda Rai was in politics. Raghunath Das Goswami, he was handling so many actually duties related to collecting tax and all. But if it is motivated by a service tendency, then service attitude, then it can do good to the people. King Pratap Rai, then we also hear Krishna Dev Rai. So many kings, they were devotees. So they were following the conduct or codes given by the Lord. That way they were helping. But if it is motivated by the false ego, then that leadership will, or that politic will have so much havoc in the people's life. And that is why the leader should have that trust by the other people that, oh, he is going to lead us for the right cause. And training means discipline. There is famous conversation between Gurujan Prabhu and Prabhupada. Prabhupada, when he visited, actually Prabhupada visited for only his family in China, and then he was asking how things are going on, how your reading is going on, your morning program is going on. Then Gurujan Prabhu was telling that actually not many people comes here for a morning program. Then Prabhupada asked, what about your morning program? How your morning program is going on? And then Prabhupada asked that wonderful question, whose disciple you are? So that responsibility of following the instruction of spiritual authority, that following that responsibility we actually lead. Leading is by following. And then if we can follow nicely, then we can lead nicely. That leading becomes by default. So we sometimes we think that whatever negatives, whatever anarthas we have, it will go by itself. So we need not to have a special endeavor to train ourselves to do good. But it will not happen like that. Some people think that, okay, once I become 50, then my anartha will slowly start reducing automatically. Not 50, 60, this time of retirement, anartha will also retire. No, it will not happen. Or once we become 70, then I will not able to do much. Just like raisins, body will dry up. So anarthas will go. No, anartha will not go. Even if we become 80, 90 or 100, anartha will not go. Because in previous life also they were there. Birth after birth they are chasing us. They are our very eternal friends. So they will not go by that. And because of that we need some training for ourselves to get rid of anarthas, get rid of our bad habits. This world is full of darkness. So by default training, by default way of functioning in this world is to go down. So enlightenment in terms of light is required. And that is why Vedanta Sutra starts with Atato Brahma Jigyasa. We have to start something. To the fact you are human beings means you have to start gaining the knowledge. And that happens in every case. Big empires. Like Prabhupada, one lecture, he gave the example of how sociologically also. What was America? America, the place where America is now, or people say is America, the residents, they were mainly from Europe. And they were so much frustrated with the wrong way of leading people. They were looking for morality, religion, and then they were trying to have some people who will follow moral conducts, laws, but they were not able to have it. Then they took big risk. They took big boats and they sailed across the ocean, and then they came to the land which Columbus gave the name. And then there people were living, and then they fight against them. There are many wars, what we have studied in the histories. And then somehow they established America, and that is why Prabhupada was telling some lectures before, in God we trust. Why? Because initially they were having faith on God, moral laws, principles in their life. So initially they started with that, America, what we call America. Even Roman Empire, even many big empires, they start with that. But slowly, slowly, when the things expand, after a few generations, then people were not much bothered about following their duties. They wanted to have adhikar, but duties least people want. So because the training was lacking, that morality was going down, discipline was lacking, then slowly, slowly, we practically called it as a modern culture. What if you have to blame somebody, or you have to tell, "Arey, you are going down in standard," we call him at a Western culture. That much that land has gone down. So every place it needs training. Whether it is devotees need training. Prabhupada was telling that what devotees should do. They should do chanting 16 rounds attentively, following the scripture, living by the scriptures, being the mood of serving to the spiritual master. So we need to have those trainings. And while training, somebody can become very strict and somebody can be very soft-hearted. Prabhupada used to say, become hard like thunderbolt and soft like rose or Bengali mother, like that he say. Because if you are just soft, then there can be some deviation, there can be some politics, there can be, or it will be difficult to train somebody if you are just soft. And if you are just hard, then people will burn away. They will never like to be with you. People will hear from you, but they will not like to be with you. So devotee has to be gentle, kind, respectful, he has to be loving. At the same time, when there is too much necessity, then he can be like a thunderbolt also. But not all the time thunderbolt. Otherwise devotee will jolt like that. So example of Yudhishthir Maharaj and Parikshit, who gave a lot of love and care to the citizens, but same kings, they were so strict about the negatives in the life. Parikshit Maharaj was telling Kali that I will kill you. I think that shloka is over, where Parikshit actually chastised Kali and he said that I will not give any room, or he will not give any place to stay. So, unless person is trained, it can't do good. Prabhupada in his one lecture, he was telling that, what is this Kshatriya training you are given for Vietnam War? Actually, people were actually drafted for the war. Those who are not wanted to go, they were also been taken. So without training, they were trying to fight war. Maharaj was telling in one lecture that, what not people were doing so that I will not get drafted. One fellow, he didn't sleep for 5-6 days. Then he took some drugs. Then he took some injection by which his blood will be polluted. And like that he went for test. And while his test was being taken, he inside that he put some chemical. So by that people were not wanted to go. And even if somehow he went ahead and the report was quite negative, the person who was testing, he was telling that, don't worry, many people does like this. So you are not an exception, you will be passed. Just like sometimes passing the exam in our some examinations. Even if we know the person don't know much, he is assured that he will get passed. So many people were getting drafted, and after war was over, because in war itself they were taking lot of drugs, they were not in mentality to fight. So somehow they wanted to be saved. They were seeing, okay, they are against the guns, and they somehow wanted to be away, but they were being forcefully taken for military, and they got this habit of taking drugs and somehow living the life. And those people then who came back in America, then they become drug addicts. It was a lot of endeavor from the government side also to make them de-addiction programs and all. So because of not having training, Prabhupada used to say that Kshatriya can do a job of 1,000 Shudras because he is trained for fighting. But then unnecessary, these people were taken. That's why they were not able to do any good, neither at war nor even after coming back from the war. But same people, though those who were untrained, they started taking drugs. Same people were taken by Prabhupada, and Prabhupada trained them. Of course, initially when Prabhupada gave initiation, that time he never told that, okay, you have to chant 16 rounds. You have to come for morning program like that. The way Kannada Prabhupada was explaining 2 days before that. Chanting was first emphasized, and then rules and regulation was emphasized. So these people who are so much drug addicted because being untrained and went for the war, same people were taken by Prabhupada, and Prabhupada did such a miracle. Because that training was so much by their liking. They wanted to become devotee. First thing was they wanted to become devotee, and then Prabhupada gave them direction that how you can become devotees. Prabhupada engaged their tendencies, and then slowly those people who were a burden to the America, they were taking burden of reviving Krishna conscious culture entire life. So the way earth was telling that, oh, this is the burden. These people who are not, these leaders who are not following any rules and regulations, they were not training the people as per the desire of the Lord. They are burden to me. Similarly, people were thinking these hippies are like burdens. And same people, then they are taking charge for the parampara, for the sake of Krishna. And they went all over the world and changed the direction of human societies. So, devotee means, Prabhupada explained that we have to be trained to become Brahmanical, to become humble servant. And then he quotes this shloka, which Radhanath Maharaj quotes in every lecture. Trunadapi sunichena tarorapi saishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. And then somebody may say that, okay, I am not able to do like this way. So once one devotee, he came to Prabhupada and he was telling that, Prabhupada, you are saying that we should be like this, we should behave like this. But what if person is not able to do? Then Prabhupada said, oh, you are a human being, you should rectify it. If you have some negative tendency, you should rectify it. At least you should give a chance to try to become better devotee. So Prabhupada every time used to emphasize a principle boldly, and then used to give him room for coming to the standards. So while telling, he used to give principle very straightforward, very strictly. But not that, okay, somebody not able to do, then. So that is also one of the aspects of training, that initially we state the principle very clearly and set the standard. At the same time, we give chance for a person to come up, grow like that. One of the way people think that, okay, if person is engaged in service, then he will develop his own bhakti. And then he is fearful that how I should give training then. If somebody is already engaged in services, if I take out his time and give him for training, then how he will be engaged in service? Or if I am just keeping them engaged, then how he will be trained? So, one lecture, Radhanath Maharaj was telling that whenever somebody gives some responsibility, along that person also should train himself, or authority should train him, by which he can do things with proper consciousness. He gave the example that how in New Vrindavan, they used to have one seva, very special seva of pot washing. So that time they were having one like creek where they used to wash pot, and there was one special room, that was pot washing room. So for all cooking purposes, they used to use wood. So because of wood, all below that surface of the big pots, they used to have big black soot, and it was a layer of soot. So if person has to go, and they were not having scrub pad or nothing, detergent also was hardly available. So what they used to do, they used to take some ashes from there, put it on the backside of that pot, and there used to be large sound because they used to take stone and remove that soot. So everybody in the locality used to come to know that, oh, pot washing seva has begun. And then they used to scrub it with a stone, and after that, the devotee who was doing that pot washing, from his lotus feet to lotus head, everything was black. But then how he will go back in the temple, because that was not good for the taking darshan of the Lord with all back. Then he has to take bath again. So much endeavor was there. But Prabhupada, when he saw that, so some of the lectures Prabhupada said, when you are washing the pot, actually you are cleansing your heart. So the service was being given with so much emphasis on its importance, that what this service is actually making, what it means to be. Then devotees, they were so delighted, they were so enthused to do that service. Because they were thinking, oh, by washing these pots, what I am doing, what all I am doing, I am cleansing my heart, which is full with anarthas. And its black suit is not suiting me. So let me do it more nicely. Let me remove anarthas so that I will become very nice in front of the Lord. So it is not only removing my dirt in my heart, it is also making me servant of my whatever cook who is cooking for the Lord. So in the same pot, the devotee is going to cook for the Lord. And for him, I am acting as a servant of servant. Then he used to think that, okay, if I am doing this cleaning very nicely, in between if I am talking, if I am doing prajalpa, then unnecessary these pots will be muchi. So I should not talk. And I should remember, oh, this is for Krishna. So this is intimate service to Krishna, that cooking for the Lord. So by this development of consciousness, then we can see same service which may be tiring, which may be very trouble giving, that as a source of joy. So that way, if the training can be there, then the service is also done, and devotees also feel delighted to do that service, and training is also done. Even when we go for book distribution, Prabhupada is telling that we should pray to Paramatma in that person's heart. Oh, this person is suffering in so many lives. Lord, please inspire him to take the book and give me donation also. By giving me donation or giving to temple, he is not losing anything. He is gaining something. So he is not a loser, he is a gainer. So let me get this, let me assist this jiva to get this privilege of reading this book and serving the Lord. Let me get the chance to serve Guru and Gauranga. And that way, let me become a proper representative for the parampara. If that way we do this, whether it is book distribution or if it is fund collection, then that same activity can be seen as a privilege. Otherwise, it becomes burden. And to see the service as a service, we need to have proper reading, hearing. So 2 vidhis Prabhupada has given in ISKCON. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given of Pancharatrika vidhi and Bhagavat vidhi. So Pancharatrika vidhi, like worshipping the deity, serving the deities, it creates wonderful impression and also awakens the love of Godhead. At the same time, by reading Bhagavata, Bhagavat vidhi is also do the same activity. And while doing service, if we already have nice reading, then we can see that service as a service. Otherwise, we see it as a burden. His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj was telling that if we are so much exhausted with service, then we feel, oh, why this burden is given by my spiritual master? That service cannot be seen as a privilege. It can be only seen as a burden. Yeah. So, the leader also teaches. So Prabhupada is telling in the middle of the purport, that how the leader should be, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antelila 9 chapter, very nice Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explained that how leader should give training of person depending on Krishna. So in that particular section of Gopinath Patnaik, who was a son of Bhavananda Rai, who are great devotees. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explained that how they were actually Pandavas, the 5 sons of Bhavananda Rai. They were Pandavas, they were great devotees. But because he did some mistake, and it was in legal affairs, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't say that, okay, whatever the devotees had done, let it be. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't took unnecessary side of devotees. He took side of the king, because it was king's duty to punish for some misdeeds. And then what the devotee should do in this regard? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in throughout the chapter explained that how we should depend on the Lord. The devotee should develop the mood of being dependent on the Lord. So the pastime goes like this, that Gopinath Patnaik, he was the in charge for collecting money and or collecting taxes in terms of bahukas. What is it called? There's some coins. There were some specific counts. Okay. So there specific tax was being collected in some particular way, and that was being collected, and it was supposed to be handed over to king. And that time King Prataprudra, he was doing this activity through his son from Prince, another his name I just forgot. So he was seeing the matter, that how much taxes are coming, and then later he found out that some amount is missing. And then Gopinath Patnaik says that, okay, I may not have that much money now, that much amount of things with me now. So what you can do, you can take my horses. I have some very good horses, so that you can be taken in place of money. And then that prince came, and this particular prince, he was having certain habit of looking toward top and then speaking like this. So just because he was little against Gopinath Patnaik, he somehow miscalculated the amount for these horses. And then our Gopinath Patnaik became angry, and he started telling that, oh, my horses are so good, they not even look towards sky and speak like this. So sarcastically he spoke, and that made the prince very angry. And then he told king that this fellow, he's not giving tax, and top of it, the money he has taken out, that he is using for some wrong purposes. And then king just said that, okay, whatever you want, you can do, by which the money can come. He didn't say that punish like this, punish that way, not like that. But he just said, okay, whatever required for as a legislation, you do. And then prince told him that this Gopinath Patnaik should be taken on changa. Changa means there will be a platform where the person will be hanged, and some spears and some bhalas, they will pierce in his body like that. So all the devotees, they were so much unhappy, and they went to Lord, that Lord, please see what is happening to your devotees. You should protect your devotees. You think that this Gopinath Patnaik and family of Bhavanandi, that your family, so you should protect. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said no. He should follow the laws of government, and I am not supposed to do all these things. A king, I'm not supposed to go to the king and ask for some money, or just forgive him for some cause. I should not do like this. Whatever law is there, they should follow. And then actually they were about to kill him. Kill him means put him on changa. And then one of the Harichandan, one of the servant of king, he goes to the king and he tells that these all things are happening, and that is why Gopinath Patnaik is getting charged like this. So then king understood that, oh, what all is happening, and then king told, oh, don't do like this. I was not wanting his life. I just wanted the money back, or whatever the things he has squandered, that should be taken back. And then king tells to that Harichandan that just relieve him and we will discuss the matters. And then Kashi Mishra, another devotee of the Lord, when he goes to the, actually to him, king used to come and he used to massage. That time, king used to massage Kashi Mishra, and that time they had a discussion, and he come to know that, okay, these all things have happened, and Gopinath Patnaik should be forgiven. So after that, then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told that how we should, so he gives various lessons. The main lesson he gave that we should be dependent on the Lord in these cases. At the same time, he want to tell that devotees should follow the rules. Once Prabhupada was in Germany and devotees were in car, so there was nobody around. Then there was yellow line, something that was not supposed to be crossed. So Prabhupada asked devotees, why you didn't follow the laws? You should follow the rules given by the country and like that. So Prabhupada also used to say that we should follow the laws. So devotees being, even though we are transcendental, but we are not so transcendental to not to follow the laws given by the government. So we should try to follow whatever laws we can follow. And that way, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was supporting the king, because whatever the punishment was there, that was as per the laws. So if the leaders are like this, who are following the laws, they should be supported. But if the leaders are not following the laws, then another person should lead. And we should think that, okay, I should take the responsibility of leading the people, not by being leader, but by following the laws. Real following will make us leader. When in Vaishnava community also, if somebody is following the laws, then he automatically become leaders. It is not that he has to practically be a leader and then follow. So, and if they are not following the laws, then that become a burden for the earth. That's what the 26th shloka is telling. And then Mother Bhumi is so much lamenting that, oh, what kind of people are become leaders now. So we also have responsibility to lead ourselves, at least our own life, to become Krishna conscious. And then if we just sincerely follow, then we become help for others to lead their lives. So thank you for tolerating. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.